All right, here with BS with Joe. So today we're going to talk about Cracker Barrel. It's been on the news lately.
And I'm sure everybody's probably tired of hearing about it, to be honest with you. But Cracker Barrel wasn't just a restaurant.
No.
You know, I mean, it's a roadside institution. They built a brand on nostalgia.
It's Americana.
Right. So, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you're selling us more than food. You're selling us on Americana. You're selling us the entire vision, and changing your logo is like breaking a contract.
Yeah, when they changed the logo and they changed the interior, they made it almost like a New York style or very plain.
Right.
And that's not Cracker Barrel. All the knickknacks on the inside, you know, it felt like home with a big fireplace. And almost like a general store, when you walked in, you saw a bunch of, you know, knickknacks and stuff.
So the internet exploded.
Yes.
Conservatives and liberals alike were both just absolutely upset about this. And I know why. It's like I said, they broke the contract.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just woke progressives. It was everybody was upset about this.
Yeah.
And the logic wasn't just a logo.
No.
You know, and changing the vision of the restaurants themselves, that's not really the big deal either. I mean, okay, yes, they rebranded the look of the restaurant, but the thing is, they're not changing the brand. Because you can't. They've become an institution, like I said.
Well, yeah, you change the brand, you destroy it.
Yeah, you can't change that brand.
Yeah, the CEO, I'm going to go off a little bit on this. So the CEO, I don't think was appropriate for the job.
I agree.
She tried to make everybody happy, and where she pulled to get the information to rebrand or change everything with Cracker Barrel was the employees.
Really?
I believe so. She said, I saw an interview with her, and she said how she did a survey with all the employees, and they all overwhelmingly wanted a remodel, wanting something fresh. Well, every new employee or every employee wants that. Who doesn't want a new kitchen? Who doesn't want new equipment? Who doesn't want a new building? They all want something new. Everybody will want something new. We all want something new. We're human.
Right.
But what she wound up doing was changing the institution.
Yep. She did. I mean, it looked like it belonged on a meal replacement instead of, you know, a country fried chicken store.
Right. Well, and it's you know, it no longer felt homey. It felt like I'm going somewhere institutional or like a traditional restaurant chain.
Yeah.
And Cracker Barrel sets themselves apart from that with what they do.
So the stock tanked.
Of course,
big time.
Yeah.
And breaking news as of yesterday, Cracker Barrel has scrapped the new logo, and Uncle Herschel is back on the porch.
Yes, they scrapped everything. Now they've lost so much money. They're going to have to close stores. They spent, I think I saw somewhere where they spent $700 million on the rebranding and changing everything to then change it back, which cost another $100-something million. She should not have the job anymore. Any CEO that loses that much money for their shareholders is irresponsible.
Right, and I'll talk about Harley Davidson in another episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of different brands and a lot of different companies that this has happened to.
So, as an example of other companies that built a brand that you just can't mess with, for my family, it was White Fence Farm. You ever heard of them?
No, I have not.
Okay, they were in Romeoville, Illinois. And people would drive for hours to go there and get their fried chicken. And fried chicken, corn fritters, you know, mashed potatoes, it's good old country comfort food, you know?
Okay.
And you'd get there, you know, you get all dressed up and go in there on a Sunday, and maybe twice a year. This wasn't an everyday thing.
Okay.
You know, and you'd arrive and find out that it was a 2-hour wait line, and it didn't bother you because they had a whole museum. There's a petting zoo outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter because you got the whole experience.
It was like the general store at Cracker Barrel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even bigger.
Wow.
But White Fence Farm, they tried to franchise at one time, but it just didn't work because, they built an icon.
Yeah.
So,
for me, when I was a kid, one of the things I remember that's kind of unique to New Mexico didn't have much. They were more mom and pop restaurants than anything else because it's such a small town. And it's hard for big companies to invest in a small town to hopefully get revenue from.
Yeah.
But there was a fast food restaurant chain called Blake's Lotaburger.
yep.
And there was a couple of them around in New Mexico.
That was the green chili burger, right?
Yeah, they'd put green chili on your burger. McDonald's does it now, and there are still Blake's there in Farmington from what I remember 14 years ago. But they would fry your burger fresh right there instead of having it in a warmer like McDonald's or other places, and you always got really good fresh food. It took a while. You waited.
But it was good food, and
But
it was
it was
worth
good
the wait.
food. It was worth the wait.
They built a brand.
They built a brand.
Yeah. So basically, what we're basically saying is nostalgia is powerful. It can keep people coming back for decades, but nostalgia isn't a business model by itself. You have to modernize.
You have to modernize.
In order to keep the experience, you can do it in other ways. You can, modernize operations and service, maybe digital touches like QR code menus, just don't break the heritage.
Right. Well, you look at some of the restaurants, like you have these little readers now at the table.
Yeah.
To where that's how you pay for your food instead of waiting for the waiter to bring you your check.
Right.
There's ways to modernize. You don't have to change your menu a whole lot. A lot of people, that's why they're there. If it's a restaurant, it's for the food and the service. I was reading somewhere online where there was a restaurant known for their hot rolls.
Okay.
They would wheel a little cart around with hot rolls and they'd throw them to the people. So
Nice.
That's their brand.
Yeah.
That's who they are. That's their stick. And the stick, when it becomes something like Cracker Barrel, is more of a tradition.
Yeah. One of the things that I was gonna compare Cracker Barrel to is Giordano's in Chicago.
Okay.
They're they're probably in the top 3. People in Chicago will argue about who number 1 is. So I'm just going to say top 3 of pizza chains in Chicago. And the reason that I'm bringing them up is because since they franchised and added a bunch of restaurants, people will literally drive past 3 or 4 Giordano's to get to the one on North Avenue for the experience of the first Giordano's.
Yeah, that's right there. People want to go not just for the food, but for the experience.
Yep.
Because if it was for the food, they'd just all corporatize and do like a fast food chain like McDonald's.
This is what Cracker Barrel forgot.
Well, that's where the CEO didn't pull the guest. They pulled the restaurant employees.
She chased convenience instead of embracing the heritage.
Or when she pulled a local small area and probably organized the questions to get that response of something new and refreshed.
She might have. You can manipulate polls to get the answer you want.
Yes, you can. That happens politically. Look at everything that happens now.
Yeah. So the lesson, logos are cheap. Experience is priceless.
That's it.
Yep.
So that's all we have. We'll wrap this one up.
Pretty much covers it.
And like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And this is BS with Joe.